My name is Ppd Dager. I am a professional gamer for Team Evil Geniuses, and the game I play is called Dota 2. I play the role as captain, both in-game and out-of-game. As a captain, I can bring a certain focus to a team which allows us to compete at the highest level. TI4, the International, is this huge tournament that Valve puts on every year for gamers to celebrate Dota.
This is the big one, and if you win this one, then that means you're the best in the world.
Dota is the ultimate team game, 5-on-5, a game that is the perfect marriage of tactics, of strategy, of individual and group effort. It's going to be the individual that can make the difference, but the group will determine who's the champion, who wins and who loses. It all begins with the group stage. 4 days of pure chaos, 120 matches played out in those 4 days, with the top 2 teams guaranteed a seat into the main bracket at the main stage in Key Arena.
Bane's going to be rejoining in the bottom lane. Mid lane, we do have this matchup.
Artur is the star child, problem child.
Not doing so hot in this lane. 4-3 compared to the 14-7 on RTs. Yeah, he's being crushed.
When he's at his peak, he's one of the most talented players I've ever seen play the game.
RTZ goes into the mid, finds out. Universe is going to grab him real quickly. Ultimate goes off, but here comes Eternal Envy from the side. Throws out a silence, but they can't take this fight. Not with the silencer ultimate going down. Pylite Eye will also get picked off. And Bone 7 being chased down. Ppd missing the overgrowth there on Bone 7.
Sawhill's sort of always been the rock of the team.
Universe is just so solid on the Faceless Void.
Doesn't get a lot of recognition. He's a very quiet guy.
He's the oldest member now. He is always calm. He is always collected.
Universe is there. Hits a 3-man Ravage, actually handing off the BKBs.
When he realizes he has a job to do. Zai is definitely the quietest of the group.
He's going to be targeted down, bursting down real quick.
I have never seen him get mad.
An arrow attempted lands on Beautiful. Zai, he's just going to shock Funnick real quick.
And you get this sense that he's always there to do what's best for the team, and he'll do what he needs to.
He's already level 6. In fact, he's going to go for the kill on Kuro. Misses the ward trap, though, just barely.
Oh, that's a lot of experience.
Mason's a goofball.
Mason completely aware of what was going on there.
Despite his inexperience, despite him never being to a LAN before, like the rest of the team, the moment that horn blows inside of the game, he is 100% focused. I think if you were to liken the team as a body, Peter would definitely be both the head and the heart. He's very passionate about the game, and he cares a lot about it.
Putting in work here on the
I don't think Peter cracks under pressure at all.
It is both his mind and his emotions that dictate where this team goes.
Already Ppd has already countered out
how this team does and how successful we are.
I mean, they are all very different people, but there is this underlying thing.
Holding in 2, it's going to be able to take down 2 cores while RTZ.
When the prize pool was 2.8 million, they wanted to win TI more than any other tournament. Now that it's 10.6 million, they still want to win this tournament more than any other tournament.
I'm Peter Dager's mom. My name is Beth. Peter was very athletic. He played on the soccer team. He played t-ball, baseball.
Peter, we go back to high school. Been friends, teammates since high school when we played football together. He was our kicker.
Anytime he could sneak out of the backyard from playing games with the neighbors, he was down the basement in front of the TV.
I've known Peter since I was about 10. We would hang out a whole bunch. If I wasn't over at his house playing games, either sports or video games, he was over at mine, probably playing video games at mine.
Alex is 15 months younger than Peter. He's in the Air Force and he's one of Peter's biggest fans, and Alex also loves video games.
We slowly just like transformed into just like these cave-dwelling people, and we were always like kind of like on another level than everyone else though. Like we I don't know, we took it really serious, and I think Peter is just on a whole nother level than me with that.
Peter always had a lot of drive to accomplish things that he wanted. When he put a priority to something, he was very good at getting it done.
Right now it's really chill to like just play in like the little hotel rooms that we have. So it's really easy, but when we get in front of the big stage, I think the pressure is going to start sinking in for all the players. Like, okay, this is it. This is going to be for the $10.5 million. Right now, we have seeded top 2 in the group stages, so we directly get seeded into the winner bracket. So if we win 2 more matches at Key Arena, we'll be directly into the grand finals.
Pretty much all the teams, they probably respect DK the most. It's probably the matchup that they didn't want this early. They know that they're going to have to beat the best to become the best.
Evil Geniuses versus Team DK. Game 1.
This certainly going to be the most anticipated match of the 2 semi-finals here today. The players just loading in, bands and picks, getting ready to start here.
The importance of the draft can't be overstated at all. It's the chess match before the chess match, and it's Peter. He's the one who's setting up those pieces. He's the one who's choosing what pieces will be in play that day.
A pretty creative strategy we wanted to try on Dager, which involved using Enchantress and Ursa together as the 2 supports. When we picked Enchantress, I think a lot of people kind of had this huge question mark. They didn't really understand why we picked it, or were kind of maybe like a little nervous for us because we just don't run that, and they were kind of maybe worried that we were getting away from what we're used to.
Who's going to come out stronger in the first game and why?
DK, they have Shadow Shaman.
I have to go with DK again. I just worry how you're going to stop this push. Unless EG dominate the first 10 minutes of this game.
When we're Dager, even if we have that kind of weak early game or weak mid game, they aren't able to take Roshan because it's on our side of the map.
It's going to be a Roshan 2.5 minutes in for Team Evil Geniuses, and now
he actually blocks it. The problem is the Dream Taker is close.
All the Roshans just piled up, and there just wasn't enough for them to deal with having to fight up against an Aegis and a Cheese every team fight.
They do come back and they take game number 1. Creating this awesome crowd here in Seattle. It's the home ground advantage, or the home team really. And DK.
Game 2.
A lot of support here for both teams, I would say.
Going into this game, we were Radiant this time, so we needed to change our strategy. The best way to play on Radiant against DK was to push really early.
I think it's, I'm not sure who it was who ended leading.
This game we first picked Razor. We were very confident in this hero, especially with Artur playing it as one of his favorite heroes this tournament. This was a pretty early Abaddon pick, and this kind of was probably a little alarming for them. We want to fight, we want to push, we want to take towers.
We saw a strategy from Evil Geniuses run earlier. It was Abaddon and Necrophos in the group stage. The only time that Necrophos was picked, and it was specifically to counter Faceless Void and Skywrath Mage.
It's pretty good against Void because you can shield and help heal the people that are inside the Chronosphere.
Up and thrown down with the ship. The Curse of the Sun being thrown towards Lanham, and now Faceless Void jumps in. 2-man Chrono. Mason getting nuked down by MMY. The move over.
I think EG is going to take this. If they can play as well as they played the last match, no matter what DK draft, EG has the advantage.
The top ranks will go as well, and past EG! EG are through the winners bracket final. They will play next.
From the very beginning, Peter has loved video games. He found out about this one boy next door who had video games. He was 4 years old and he snuck out of the house. He had walked through the woods over to the neighbor's house and Kyle wouldn't let him in.
Didn't always have the best relationship with his parents in gaming. Like, it was a struggle at times.
His dad would say, "What is Peter doing? Get him off the video games. What is Peter doing? Where is Peter?"
The biggest thing with Peter is trying to maintain a balance and helping him prioritize things.
You know, I can't blame my parents for trying to get me off them. In the end, I don't think there was much they could do to stop me.
A lot of people's favorites to bounce back, and we can take a look at the brackets of where they'll be. We can now see our next game today, and our final game, which will be a best of 3, is going to be Newbee versus Evil Geniuses.
It's going to be a game between two very even teams that do not make many mistakes. It's going to come, I think, to the draft, and who drafts better than the other one.
Oh, we'll find out, because that's where we're going now.
Evil Geniuses versus Newbee. Game 1.
So we traded Doom and we got Brewmaster and Tidehunter. This gives us 2 incredibly strong tanky cores who could survive through a Doom, pretty easily as long as they just get out of the fight.
Immediately, an EG replies with 2 teamfight maestros.
Yeah.
They picked Death Prophet a lot this tournament for Moo. They're on Radiant, so I think they definitely wanted to achieve the ability to push towers.
If they get off their combo right, which Ppd is searching for with the Zarro, it's going to connect. Tails Moo, but they're so afraid to go in because of just how big Moo is right now.
With our 4th pick, we took Naga Siren for Arteezy. We hadn't really picked Naga too much this tournament, but it was something we always had. During our boot camp, we had like a whole day where we just only picked Naga. We would be able to buy enough time because they wouldn't have the Roshans that they would if we were Radiant, and we would be able to delay long enough for Naga to get enough farm to carry the game.
So who's going to take the first game and why?
I'll say EG. I think the Naga Siren pick, the Songless Siren is just going to be incredibly difficult to counter, and Newbee has to execute perfectly to win this game.
And it's time for Exorcism number 2. Moo gets caught by the Ravage, but the Ghosts fight through that. They Ravage him again. They've got to finish him off. He cyclones the throne. It drops low. It falls. And Newbee find a way. They break through the Arteezy Naga, and they take game 1. They're one game.
A couple players were really upset that we let that game get away from us. We definitely should have won.
I really hope for EG's case, the Arteezy, if you're a fan of EG, gets a slightly more enjoyable game.
Game 2.
Forget what happened. You need to forget what happened.
So for game 2, we really wanted to make sure that we got our signature heroes. If we were going to lose, we wanted to lose with heroes that we were comfortable with, saying, hey, they beat, our best. We got Storm Spirit in the first phase, which is something that we didn't normally do. We followed that up with a Beastmaster pick. We had this kind of strategy or idea where we would have total map control through vision.
To drain the mana off. Oh, there's a zip in bottom, and they do find Xiao in. Big jump from Mason. They have a Hawk on the high ground as well, so that one all set up by none other than Universe.
For our last pick, we went with Wraith King, which was, in hindsight, probably a mistake. Unfortunately, my laning phase went really poorly when I got first blooded, and the game kind of took a turn from there.
He'll try and turn and fight, but with everybody chopping away at him, he just can't get out.
The Spectre gets it.
Oh, that's not a good start. And EG on the ropes. Newbee have them where they want them.
And Doom with the Troll Trap canceling the Enigma TP BKB. It's over.
GG! Newbee have won 5 best of 3s in a row and are going to the grand finals. They are guaranteed a top 2 finish at the International.
When you're that close to elimination and you manage to pull this one off, you just show how good of a team you are.
How many teams would have folded in that position? I would say the vast majority of them. But Newbee not only stood strong and survived in the tournament, now guaranteed top 2, and they get to sit back and watch the next 2 games and then play whoever comes through the losers bracket.
They didn't have a lot of time to think about Newbee, or really just think about DK, or think about really anything. They sort of had to just keep going.
basically. You should be so thankful. You should be, you idiot.
I watched the replay and you were farming top lane and there was just Firefly all over the trees next to you and you just...
No shit, because he's alone.
He was not alone.
That's why. You guys actually don't understand how to play Dota. Why would Skies be top when the bear is mid? Send the bear all the way top.
He watches replays of all the teams we're about to play, studies up on what we should be picking, theory craft strats we can be playing as well. We have no one to lead us if it wasn't for him.
They can't leave their side of the map.
So you get Midas. Dagger doesn't get Midas.
I like knowing that my captain truly wants to win and is willing to put in the time and effort to make it happen.
They don't have the heroes. Like, you can't just look at these heroes and be like, yeah, they can win. They can't.
Watch, they'll get a tower.
I think he really just wants this to be done and to finish it himself. The stadium, all the cameras, ESPN is broadcasting it. It feels like we're getting somewhere.
I didn't know it was like this big of a scale. Like, you know, we all do something different, and Peters is playing video games and having lots of people enjoy watching him play video games.
So I really enjoy watching esports, and now that he's involved in it, like on the center stage, I think it's awesome.
There was one morning that your dad set the alarm and got up at 3:45 in the morning to watch you play. His father's hooked. He's his biggest fan for sure.
All these guys are saying these long names and where they're from, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then he goes,
Ppd Dager, Ppd, Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Whoa, big time.
Evil Geniuses, this year's Boys in Blue, Mason, Universe, Ppd, Zai and Arteezy. Young players to the tournament. Can they handle the pressure? I think they definitely could if they get a good start. But
This is a team that we handled actually really well in the group stage. We just knew that they did this all in push strategies, and we thought, you know, we were apt enough at being able to beat it.
Evil Geniuses versus VG Gaming. Game 1.
So VG first picked Razor, something a lot of teams were doing, including us. We reacted with Brewmaster and Rasta, just pretty good heroes. With Rasta we can abuse Roshan. Mason Panda is always very good. With their third pick they took Rubik. It's pretty good against Rasta and Brewmaster and tanking as well. Also it allows them to kind of roam around the map and have like a setup stun.
They look for Arteezy, they'll lift him and drop him, and they've got traps stolen. But I don't know if they need them here. They'll be turning the game and GG!
So we got pretty outdrafted this game, I think, and we lost really badly.
I don't think there's any other way to say it with EG in game number 1.
This is just Vici showing why they finished the group stage on top. Because what we saw from Vici in the group stage, these 15-minute games, extreme aggression with their supports early on, perfect laning, perfect rotations, and just they used every opening EG gave them. And I don't feel like it was that many, but they were big enough.
This is their last chance. They have to make it to the finals. They have to win this game, otherwise there's no third game, there's no grand finals, and then you're out.
Well, maybe it's the crowd that will put EG back in good faith for their second game.
Evil Geniuses versus VG Gaming. Game 2.
A lot of pressure on Ppd here from Evil Geniuses, his most important draft to date.
They first picked Furion, and this was a little surprising, but we thought maybe they would do it.
Profit, which is okay, that's interesting.
We took Void pretty early in this draft just because we really like it against Furion.
TP in mid and EG are not going to give away the free towers they get in the first game. In they go. The Chrono's there. That's on 3. A beautiful setup by Universe. They followed up with a stun. Connects on Silo. 2 fall easily for EG. And VG get nothing during this time.
I took Alchemist for myself. I thought this would be a really good hero to help stop the deep push.
Looking for a good chrono. It's an Alch stun to start it off. They won. They chrono 2. Now the Alch stun. From the north comes Ppd, and from the south comes Universe. And EG descend on VG with a black hole. Sai finds him, and it's it. It's all over for VG. EG keep the dream alive and force a deciding game 3.
Great team fight execution from EG. Easily for me, MVP of the game. Universe.
What a player.
With one good chrono after the other and a couple of great black holes. It looked a little shaky in the start, and EG's draft definitely had some weaknesses, but they played to their strengths. Got a lot out of every single lane they had. And in contrast to game 1, Vici never really got a solid grip on the game.
Well, to find out how Vici can get a solid grip on game number 3, we're going to hand it over to the desk guys. What do they need to do?
So they picked Fearon first again, just like in game 2. We were confident what we had, so we just copied and went with Void Enigma. They actually went with Venomancer this time instead of Doom.
To be very careful about the late game.
And do you actually...
I was telling my team that I really wanted to pick Timbersaw in this draft. It does really well against Furion and Venomancer. It lanes incredibly well against Furion.
In 1 second, he gets it in time, but they keep on chasing the hasted knight.
There was definitely a lot of debate going on during this draft.
Bring down Artesia a second time, and now they go for the high ground here. And they get more. They get the Enigma as well. EG are cracking open this EG base, and it's GG. They got too greedy, and Vici punish it again. What a way to go out. Vici has to be the best team in this tournament, punishing greed, bar none.
Yeah.
It's their ultimate strength.
They're amazing at early aggression and making the right calls and taking towers. And if you put one of the most aggressive teams against one of the most greedy farming teams in the game, you will have short games like this. But for it to happen twice in the best of 3, I was not imagining Vici pulling it off again in this 3rd game. But just, you know, I don't know what to say. They just executed perfectly. And going into the grand finals, this will be arguably 2 of the most aggressive teams going up against each other. Newbee and Vici. Both teams play very early aggression, very push-oriented, very team-fight-oriented. Should be a great grand final tonight. It's going to be a fantastic one.
You know, gaming has been a long, difficult journey. Competing at like the highest level in a competitive sport, to say, is like, you know, very rewarding. It's a great place to strive for success. My career choice has been legitimized. What I'm doing isn't a waste of my time. What I'm doing is worth putting off college.
A Han transplant, a pub star, 17-year-old kid. And they see those criticisms, and I think a lot of this is proving them wrong.
I never look at the money as being any part of it at all. I just want him to be happy. You know, that's the most important thing.